This is the On the Pony Express podcast, part of the On3 network. Check out all the SMU coverage you need at onthePonyExpress.com. Now, here's your host, Billy Embody. 1, 2, 3, let me go.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the On the Pony Express podcast. I'm Billy Embody. With me is Hayden Howerton. We've got our final two interviews for you guys from the East-West Shrine Bowl we're dropping today. So we hope you guys enjoy them. But before we talk about them, I do want to remind you guys we are presented by the Thomas Auto Group. Head up 75 to McKinney to any of their dealerships. Brandon Thomas and his team will take care of you with employee pricing when you mention onthePonyExpress.com. That's new or pre-owned vehicles. So we appreciate the Thomas Auto Group for their support of the On the Pony Express podcast.
Shopping for a new car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than the Thomas Auto Group. Browse our selection of over 2,000 vehicles from 3 great brands.
Watch this!
All online and in a few simple steps. Just click on the vehicle you want, save big on the most popular brands, and drive away happy. Plus, all vehicles sold are backed by the Thomas Promise. Visit our website, thomasautogroup.com, or shop in-store at the Thomas Auto Group in McKinney, home of the Thomas Promise.
All right, Hayden. We get going here now with a guy that I have known for years, and he is a one-time LSU defensive lineman, Joe Evans. He was, I think it's safe to say, by far our most entertaining interview, and it's no disrespect to anyone else out there. But he finished up his career at UTSA, and he ended up with a national championship ring from LSU's 2019 season. And he basically he didn't say step away. Like, we never really got the actual answer, but this guy can absolutely belt it. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But ended up transferring from LSU after 16 games with 10 starts over 3 seasons, went through the whole Ed Ogeron, Brian Kelly coaching change situation, ends up with Jeff Traylor at UTSA, and finishes up his career there with a really impressive performance, being able to, play his way into the Shrine Bowl and take a stab at this. Now, I don't know what happened in terms of his stats. I'm looking right now, actually. But he is one of, I would say, just a really well-wired guy. I mean, he just really, does everything you could possibly want with the right attitude. And so he's getting a chance to spend some time around NFL scouts and do the whole thing. And it'll be interesting to see if he lands on a roster and can kind of start his NFL career. But Joe Evans is one of the treasures of this media thing that we get to do.
This was my favorite interview of the day. Again, no disrespect. We appreciate everyone who sat down with us, but this guy, I think we could have him on for a 3-hour podcast. Legitimately. He was so fun to talk to. If I'm a GM, I'm taking this guy just to have him in the locker room. He is that kind of guy that will boost team morale. Guys kind of just migrate in the league to guys that, again, like Joe, they can just hang out with for hours. And he is going to be a big hit in the locker room. I'm sure he's going to put on a hilarious rookie show, which I hope he ends up on whoever has Hard Knocks this year so everybody can see it. But just what a really special guy. You can tell whatever his background is that has brought him to singing. I mean, he is very passionate about it. Billy, you heard him sing. I have not heard him sing, but apparently he can absolutely incredibly sing, like America's Got Talent level. But anyway, Joe, we really appreciate him sitting down with us. I think you guys are in for a treat with this episode.
Welcome back to the show. This is going to be a really fun one because I have known this guy since before COVID. We're both getting old, but you are just starting your NFL career. Joe Evans, UTSA defensive lineman here at the East-West Shrine Bowl. Joe, great to see you, first of all.
Man, great to be here, man. It's great to be here.
What has your journey been like? Can you kind of put it into a nutshell? Because came out of Haynesville, Louisiana, big defensive line commit. You won the shot put as a senior in high school. You landed LSU, and then you end up at UTSA. What's your ride been like?
It's been a crazy ride, man. my freshman year winning a national championship, man, that was just an eye-opener to the possibilities of what I can do, you know. I went there 3 years under different coaches, great coaches, Billy Johnson, Andre Carter, Meatball. I forget the first year but Meatball, he knows who he is.
Yeah, Dennis Johnson.
Yeah,
Hey,
Dennis Johnson,
now Baltimore Ravens defensive line coach.
What?
Yeah, I know. Time
didn't know
flies,
that.
right? Yeah.
Oh,
Went
man.
Baylor now.
Shout out to
now
Meatball,
Baltimore.
man.
Yeah.
Shout
So
out
good friend of the show.
Yeah,
we love
okay.
Meatball.
Okay, we love Meatball.
So hey, hopefully you land there. That'd be a nice.
Hey, come get me, Meatball.
Yeah.
Come get me. I'm available. You know, I'm here.
So you end up at UTSA.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like getting there? Coach Traylor, there was a good little Louisiana contingent that was at UTSA as well. What's it like, finishing up there?
It was like obviously a breath of fresh air, like meeting the guys, immediately getting assimilated to the culture. It was like no problem. It was great guys. Brandon Brown, Cyrus Simon, Ronald Triplett, Christian Clayton, them guys, they're my brothers. Like, they make the experience what it was. And Coach Haynes, Sadiq Haynes, like, those guys, like, they'll forever be a part of what I got going on, whether it's league, after league, I'm always keep them guys. And Coach Traylor. Coach Traylor, he's a big one. He's a great reason why I stayed there,
What's your status right now? Are you rehabbing the knee? Are you working? Are you just here for interviews right now? Or are you able to do anything on the field?
I'll be cleared February.
Cool.
To do like athletic ability stuff. I'm here interviewing, like making the best of the moment, meeting guys, meeting players in my position from different schools. I think that's in itself is a great opportunity.
I was gonna say, you might be one of the older guys in that room.
Yeah.
Did you know anyone coming up when you were coming through high school and things like that are in this room now? Because you've been around the dogs and you are one as well. Like, this is a unique group and fraternity that you're now in.
Yeah, like I grew up at LSU. I was roommate with Jay Tayola brother Apu. Well, we call him Apu, but Siaki Ika.
Yeah.
He was my roommate. Every time I pass him, I'm like, man, you look just like somebody I know. And then I said, do you know Apu? He was like, yeah, that's my brother. I was like, okay, that's the reason. But my LSU teammates. Corey Kiner, he was like a freshman running back when I was there. Kyron Lacey and Greg Penn. That's another one that's here that I know. But it's like good catching up with them guys. I haven't seen them since forever. I feel like I'm really getting old because they here with me.
Yeah.
Like, man.
So this is one good reason to have you on the pod. Let's settle something here. Mm-hmm. You have
I know it's coming up.
You have a hidden talent. We're not going to ask you to show the talent, but you're an accomplished singer.
I'm an accomplished man. I've met Ruben Studdard on the Zoom, so I think that's pretty much a great accomplishment on American Idol. I just feel like it's a little something that I'm gonna pursue after. Something I'm gonna be able to mix and match like with my business ventures.
Yeah.
Well, a big part of the NFL, when you get there as a rookie, one of the things is rookie show, where you're going to have to get up. You're going to have to get up and sing in front of the team.
Now, see, this isn't a part of our deal.
So
Hayden just outed you.
So for rookie show, what song are you immediately thinking you could sing, or do you have options?
And I did this in my room. Like, I was practicing for that, like just in case I do have to do something like that. So I was thinking like more like Anthony Hamilton or some Luke Combs or what's the
like a Chris
drinking
State?
Problem?
Okay, I'm not gonna say
it. But you can spark this out your podcast. I don't know if y'all condone it.
Sounds so close. We got copyright. Yeah.
Hey, I'll give you some advice. If you pick a song that everybody knows, makes it 100% easier. So just remember
and
that.
I've seen somebody do "Love" by Keisha Cole, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a good song.
I feel like the guys on Hard Knocks that do sing and can sing, they get a lot of love.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I really practice. Hopefully, I can bring my guitar that day.
My rookie year, we had a pair who did "Same Girl" by Usher and R. Kelly.
Okay, yeah. That was somebody. Now I gotta get. Hopefully, he can sing too. His brother. I know Apu can sing.
Yeah, Apu can sing.
Yeah, hopefully his brother can sing. We get together and do something. Hopefully, same team.
Bro, Joe, I can tell NFL guys love locker room guys. That everybody just kind of migrates to their locker. I can tell you're going to be one of those guys already.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. I'm just being myself.
What do you bring to an NFL team though? Let's talk about on the field. What do you feel like your strengths are? What are you talking with teams about when you're going through this process?
Well, I think my best attributes are like how explosive I am, how I can handle a block. I feel like that's explosiveness and mentally, like I know what's going on. So that's never been a problem to me. So I feel like enter into the NFL space, they can count on me, to make those plays,
Modern day NFL defensive lines are absolutely stacked. Is there anybody that you model your game after?
Geno Atkins. Like, he's a good run blocker. He get off blocks, make plays. Like, that's kind of player I'm like aspiring to be. And obviously, I looked up to Aaron Donald like throughout my whole high school to college experience, and just like studying what he does, like even off the field, training wise, like trying to model myself as a type of player, the one that can step into rooms and be like, yeah.
No doubt, we see you being that for sure.
Joe, it's been a blast having you on. We'd love to get you on in future podcasts, off-season, things problem. Like that, because you're a lot of fun. You might have a career at this too.
Hey,
you got all sorts of ventures. You got singing, football, media.
We need a defensive guy for our show.
And I could be somebody that go around and do personal interviews, like follow with the camera and stuff like that. Like, that's something I'm interested in doing too.
Okay, all right. We'll lock in a deal for next Shrine Bowl. Yeah, all right, Joe. Good to see you, man.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that one was a great one, Hayden, and appreciate Joe. He did suffer a season-ending injury in October with UTSA against East Carolina, so didn't have the final, really run that he was supposed to after having an all AAC performance in 2023. So he's going to probably continue to recover, of course, and then get ready for pro day. He was healing up the last bit of that meniscus, he said. So NFL teams, give him that one extra look because he deserves it. All right, this next interview we've got is another favorite. I mean, Phil Mafah, Clemson running back. Shout out Kelly Gramlich and Eric McLean, friends of the show who have had him on before. We were really hoping that maybe they hadn't had him, so we could just, say, hey.
Have a one-up on them.
Yeah. It didn't go on the Clemson podcast, of course, and kind of trade a little bit of one-upping, like you said, Hayden. But Phil was awesome. Was recovering. He played hurt throughout, his entire final season at Clemson. So now he's taking a stab at the NFL, was there for interviews and recovering a little bit still. So really appreciate his time. Before we get to that interview, do want to remind you guys that we are presented by our friends at StatusJet, statusjet.com. Mention on the Pony Express or the code PonyUpACC for a discount on your round trip flight. StatusJet can get you to and from wherever you need to go with a level of luxury that you'd expect. So they're proud supporters of SMU Athletics and the On the Pony Express podcast. But Phil Mafah was unbelievable in this interview.
Unfortunately, at the ACC championship, I probably sat around, 1,000 of his biggest fans. It was me, Kara, and all Phil Mafah fans. But I talked about during the prep of that game that this is a guy that takes, multiple defenders to bring down. I mean, tacklers were just bouncing off of Phil Mafah all season. And then you remember, this guy was playing with one arm. He wasn't even stiff-arming people because he was having that shoulder injury that he did have surgery on a few weeks ago, and he is rehabbing from that. So, yeah, he is just doing interviews. He's going through the process right now of the off-the-field stuff, sitting in the meeting room, interviewing with teams, and getting all that. But, yeah, Phil Mafah was a salt-of-the-earth guy, just really loves football. You can tell he gets it. He knows how to be a pro. And I could see Phil being a big third down back for some team here next season.
Yeah, and physically he checks the boxes. So and has that grit to him. So really enjoyed our conversation with Phil Mafah. So hope you guys enjoy it and check it out. And that'll be it on this edition of the On the Pony Express podcast. So we appreciate you guys listening, and we'll catch you next time. But first, enjoy this interview with Clemson running back Phil Mafah.
Welcome back. We're here now with Clemson running back Phil Mafah, big friend of the Gramlich and McLean podcast, of course, those Clemson Tigers. And look, we saw you up close and personal for SMU Clemson, so congratulations on the ACC championship. Big accomplishment there. What was that game like? Let's go back to that, just the run of emotions from both sides there.
You know, that was probably one of the craziest games I've been a part of, honestly. In SMU, you know, they battled, especially in that second half. That quarterback, I give, you know, great props to him because, you know, a young quarterback like that, being able to make it to a championship game, first time in the ACC, and bring his team back like that, you know, I thought it was very impressive. But there was a lot of emotions throughout that game, and, you know, it was just a great opportunity just to be there again because it's just so hard to get there.
Yeah, shed a little light on that. I mean, you know, Clemson is the gold standard of the ACC, but you guys were able to sneak in there and you get your opportunity and you win. Shed some light on the process, that grind of the season in the ACC, and to even get to that point.
You know, all year we just talked about winning the next game and focusing on what we could control. And especially after that South Carolina loss, you know, we thought everything was off the table. But Coach, it was actually crazy because Coach Swinney called out all the losses before they happened, all the upsets, and, you know, God willing, we're able to make it to the ACC. So just believing that, you know, the work that we put in isn't for vain, and that, you know, just got to trust the process.
During the prep of that game, I talked about how you were a big physical running back, tacklers just bounced off of you. Who do you try to model your game after, and talk about some of the hard work that's enabled you to do some of those things?
I would say one running back that I've always looked up to since I was young before college is Joe Mixon, just the way he runs the ball and his size. You know, we're about the same size frame, and I love the way he can carry the ball and catch the ball at the backfield.
You're here and you know, being able to compete in practice against two SMU guys that you saw on the other side, Jared Harrison Hunt, Elijah Roberts. What did you see out of them in your prep? And, you know, I don't know how much more it goes beyond just numbers and who they are, but what have you seen from them if you know, kind of have anything to share about that defensive line?
First thing that stands out from them that I see is that they're big. You know, they're big guys and they're physical, obviously well coached. And you could tell that by the film. You know, I saw that in the film that we watched. And, you know, they're there to compete. So I know that you can't just get to a championship game like that. So, you know, I keep my eyes on those guys because I know that they're well coached and want to win.
We do want to talk about you. You mentioned modeling your game after some of those guys. Are you able to do anything this week? And what's kind of been the early feedback you've gotten?
Yeah, I haven't. I'm here just for interviews and just, you know, trying to pick the brains of different coaches and scouts, and just being able to talk to you guys. But it's been great. I'm about 3.5 weeks post-op, and I'm just trying to, you know, get into the best physical shape I can be in order to be ready.
And one thing that's caught my eye over the course of your career following you in the ACC is your maturity, you know, and how much you were able to gut it out, you know, in the second half really of that season. I don't know exactly when the injury occurred, but you know, that was something that really has to catch NFL scouts' eyes. Do you get much feedback on things like that, playing through injury and what you're able to do and still contribute?
Yeah, I mean, they're very impressed by it. You know, I injured it the second game of the season.
Jeez.
And I feel like, you know, it was holding on for probably about 2 games, but, you know, it just got relatively worse throughout the season. So just being able to commit myself to the daily habits that I took in order to get my arm or my shoulder to the best possible shape each and every week is what really impressed them.
With your play style, what is one team or maybe one system that you would love to go play for at the next level?
I would say I love the way San Francisco, I love their outside zone. I think it's awesome just being able to have options in the backfield.
Now you're speaking my language. SMU does go to Clemson next year. Who are some guys that you were looking at as possibly sitting in your chair this time next year or in a couple of years?
Just from any position?
Any position.
I would say Wade Woodaz, linebacker on defense. He's a great player. DeMonte Capehart, one of our D tackles, stayed another year. And just 2 young freshmen, Bryant Wesco and TJ Moore. You know, those guys, they're well ahead of their time.
Do you notice right away guys that can be, you know, league bound if all things, kind of pan out? Like, you notice a guy like Wesco and TJ Moore, because I know they were highly thought of coming out of high school.
Yeah, and as a young player, that's hard to do, especially your first year, because football is a developmental game. But those guys, you could just tell, they got it. They work hard, and as long as they stay on track with that, the sky's the limit for them.
What's Death Valley like? What's running down in the hill and getting to be a part of that atmosphere? What is SMU walking into next year?
Honestly, it's crazy. It's an awesome game day experience. The fans show out for every game. And it's just an awesome environment to play in for a home team and away team, I'd say.
We can't wait to be there next year. Phil, thanks so much for sitting down with us. Clemson legend, Phil Mafah. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks so much.